The Providence-class Dreadnought was among the most formidable warships deployed by the Confederacy of Independent Systems during the Clone Wars. As a multi-role capital ship, it combined the firepower of a battleship with the carrying capacity of a fleet carrier, making it a versatile and highly efficient vessel for both fleet engagements and planetary assaults. Its weapon systems were carefully distributed across the hull, ensuring it could engage enemies from multiple angles while maintaining a strong defensive perimeter. The primary offensive weaponry of the Providence class consisted of 14 quad, heavy turbolaser batteries, strategically mounted along its port and starboard flanks. These immense weapons were capable of unleashing firepower equivalent to a magnitude 10 earthquake, making them devastating against enemy capital ships and station defenses. Their long-range capabilities allowed the Dreadnought to engage targets well before they could return fire, and when used in concentrated broadsides, these turbolasers could punch through the shields and hulls of Republic Venator-class Star Destroyers with overwhelming force. However, the sheer size of these weapons resulted in moderate aiming speeds, requiring precise coordination from fire control teams and advanced targeting sensors to compensate for enemy movements. To prevent overheating during prolonged engagements, the turbolaser batteries were equipped with an advanced cooling system, utilizing heat dissipation vents and energy redistribution mechanisms to maintain optimal operational efficiency. Supplementing the primary armament were 34 dual heavy laser cannons mounted along the dorsal and ventral sections of the hull. These high-energy laser turrets were highly effective at engaging medium-sized enemy vessels, such as frigates and corvettes, as well as providing suppression fire against concentrated fighter formations. Unlike the quad-heavy turbolasers, these cannons possessed a significantly faster tracking speed, allowing them to adjust their aim more efficiently in combat. Their high rate of fire made them particularly useful in drawn-out battles, where sustained damage could gradually wear down an enemy's shields and defenses. Heat dissipation was managed through integrated cooling arrays that allowed the turrets to maintain continuous operation with minimal risk of overheating. The Providence class was also equipped with 2 forward-mounted battleship ion cannons, designed specifically to disable enemy ships by disrupting their shields and electronic systems. These massive cannons were fixed along the prow of the ship, requiring precise maneuvering to line up with their targets. When fired, the ion blast could render enemy shields useless and cause severe electronic malfunctions, leaving them vulnerable to follow-up attacks from the Dreadnought's turbolasers and torpedoes. The immense energy output of these weapons resulted in a low rate of fire, necessitating careful timing and coordination to ensure maximum effectiveness. To manage the intense power requirements, the ion cannons were integrated into the ship's primary reactor systems, with large heat exchangers regulating their energy output to prevent catastrophic overloads. For point defense and close-quarters combat, the Dreadnought carried 12 heavy flak cannons, which could also be configured as mass driver cannons. These weapons were distributed along the hull to provide overlapping fields of fire, allowing them to create a formidable defensive screen against incoming starfighters and missile barrages. Utilizing kinetic rounds rather than energy-based projectiles, the flak cannons were particularly effective at shredding enemy fighter squadrons and intercepting incoming torpedoes before they could strike the ship's shields. Their rapid-fire capabilities ensured a continuous barrage, making it difficult for enemy starfighters to approach without sustaining heavy losses. The fast-tracking capabilities of these weapons allowed them to keep pace with the highly maneuverable Republic starfighter squadrons, compensating for the Dreadnought's relatively slower maneuverability. In addition to its flak defenses, the Providence class was armed with 12 twin light ion cannons, positioned along its port and starboard sides. These weapons were designed for rapid engagements against smaller, more agile ships such as corvettes and gunships. While their overall power output was lower than that of the primary battleship ion cannons, their high rate of fire made them effective at stripping away enemy shields and disabling critical systems before larger weapons could finish them off. The turrets were highly responsive, with precision tracking systems ensuring they could effectively target even the fastest-moving vessels. The Dreadnought's torpedo arsenal was one of its most devastating offensive systems. A total of 102 proton torpedo launchers were spread across the hull, each capable of firing 3 torpedoes in rapid succession. These high-yield warheads were designed to bypass enemy shields and inflict catastrophic damage upon impact, making them especially effective against heavily armored Republic warships and fortified space stations. The torpedoes were equipped with advanced tracking systems, allowing them to home in on enemy targets even in high-speed combat scenarios. Reloading the torpedo tubes required a brief delay, but their sheer destructive potential ensured that any direct hits would severely compromise an enemy vessel's combat effectiveness. The Dreadnought also carried 10 heavy tractor beam projectors, positioned along its port and starboard sections. These powerful emitters were primarily used to seize and immobilize enemy ships, preventing them from escaping or maneuvering effectively in battle. When deployed in conjunction with the ship's ion cannons, these tractor beams could hold enemy ships in place while they were systematically disabled and destroyed. The tractor beams were also instrumental in planetary invasions, assisting in the docking and deployment of landing craft and troop carriers by stabilizing their approach to the surface. Despite its fearsome array of weapons, the Providence-class was not solely reliant on firepower for its battlefield dominance. The vessel was equipped with an advanced defensive suite including deflector shields, reinforced hull plating, and thermal shielding. The ship's deflector shields were among the most powerful of its era, capable of absorbing sustained barrages from enemy warships without immediate compromise. These shields were further supplemented by thermal shielding, which provided an additional layer of protection against high-energy laser fire and extreme environmental conditions. The ship's armor plating was among the thickest of any warship in its class, allowing it to withstand significant punishment even when its shields were compromised. Although it was classified as a dreadnought, the Providence-class also functioned as a carrier, capable of deploying a vast complement of starfighters and ground assault vehicles. The ship's expansive hangars could accommodate 120 Vulture-class droid starfighters and 120 droid tri-fighters, as well as 10 Hyena-class droid bombers. These fighter squadrons provided critical support during space battles, overwhelming enemy fleets with sheer numerical superiority. In addition to its starfighter complement, the Dreadnought could transport several hundred droid-armored vehicles, including multi-troop transports and armored assault tanks, along with a variety of shuttles and HMP droid gunships for planetary deployment. The vessel had a crew complement of 900 officers, droids, and other enlisted personnel, while also being capable of carrying a staggering 1.5 million deactivated battle droids, allowing it to serve as a mobile invasion platform. The integration of such an extensive weapon system into a single vessel made the Providence-class an exceptionally lethal warship, capable of engaging multiple enemy targets simultaneously. Every aspect of its design emphasized overwhelming firepower, strategic versatility, and the ability to exert dominance over a battlefield. While the immense energy demands of its weaponry and shielding systems required careful management, the ship's ability to deploy both devastating long-range attacks and precise short-range strikes ensured that it remained one of the most dangerous warships of the Clone Wars era. The propulsion system of the Providence-class Dreadnought was designed to balance speed, maneuverability, and endurance, making it a formidable warship capable of both rapid fleet movements and sustained engagements. The vessel was powered by 3 Creveld 4 radial ion drives, advanced Nubian-made propulsion units that provided exceptional thrust efficiency and energy management. These powerful engines granted the Dreadnought a maximum acceleration of 2,500 G, allowing it to rapidly increase velocity when engaging or disengaging from combat scenarios. At full power, the Providence-class could reach a top speed of 70 mglt in space, making it one of the faster capital ships in the Separatist fleet, particularly when compared to the bulkier and slower Lucrehulk-class battleships. In planetary atmospheres, the Dreadnought was capable of reaching speeds of up to 2,000 kilometers per hour, an impressive feat for a vessel of its size. While it was not designed for prolonged atmospheric operations, its streamlined hull and powerful engines allowed it to conduct planetary assaults with relative ease, particularly when descending from orbit to deploy ground forces. The ship's acceleration time was finely tuned for both strategic withdrawals and high-speed pursuit maneuvers, ensuring that it could quickly reposition itself in response to evolving battle conditions. Despite its size and mass, the Providence-class exhibited remarkable maneuverability for a dreadnought, a feature that made it highly effective in fleet engagements. The ship's Creveled 4 engines were designed with a sophisticated thrust vectoring system, which allowed it to make precise course corrections and adjust its trajectory without the sluggish response times typically seen in warships of similar scale. This level of maneuverability made the dreadnought particularly dangerous in ship-to-ship combat, as it could maintain optimal firing angles for its broadside weapons while evading concentrated enemy fire. Its lateral thrusters and stabilizing fins played a crucial role in its ability to make controlled adjustments during battle, enabling it to perform evasive actions or shift its orientation to maximize firepower distribution. The ship's energy distribution systems were engineered to manage the substantial power demands of both its propulsion and combat systems. The primary reactor complex was designed to efficiently allocate energy between the engines, shields, weapons, and life support systems, ensuring that no single function was compromised during peak operations. During high-speed maneuvers or emergency retreats, power could be diverted from non-essential systems, such as secondary weapon arrays or docking operations, to reinforce engine output. Conversely, when the dreadnought was engaged in sustained combat, power could be redirected from propulsion to boost shield strength and weapon recharge rates. To maintain optimal engine performance, the dreadnought was equipped with an advanced cooling network, which utilized high-capacity heat exchangers and radiative cooling panels distributed along the ship's aft section. These systems dissipated excess heat generated by the Creveled 4 engines, preventing thermal buildup that could otherwise lead to decreased efficiency or catastrophic failure. Coolant reservoirs were integrated into the engine compartments, ensuring that the ship could sustain prolonged high-speed operations without overheating. Routine technical maintenance of the Providence-class engines was a complex process, requiring specialized droid and organic crew teams to inspect and service the propulsion systems. The radial ion drives were modular in design, allowing for relatively quick replacement of key components such as ionization chambers, thrust regulators, and cooling units. The ship's onboard diagnostic systems continuously monitored engine performance, alerting engineers to any potential malfunctions or inefficiencies before they could develop into critical failures. In addition to its sublight propulsion, the dreadnought was fitted with a hyperdrive system for interstellar travel. The primary hyperdrive was rated at Class 1.5, granting it faster-than-light capabilities that allowed it to keep pace with other Separatist capital ships. While not as fast as some Republic vessels equipped with Class 1.0 hyperdrives, the Providence-class was still able to conduct rapid hyperspace jumps, ensuring strategic mobility across war zones. As a precautionary measure, the ship was also equipped with a backup Class 10 hyperdrive, which, while significantly slower, provided redundancy in case the primary hyperdrive was damaged or disabled. Navigational capabilities were supported by an advanced sensor suite and a dedicated navigation computer, allowing the ship to calculate hyperspace routes with precision. Long-range sensors enabled the dreadnought to detect potential threats or obstacles along its trajectory, reducing the risk of hyperspace accidents and ensuring safe transit across the galaxy. The vessel's navigation systems were also programmed with extensive astrogation data, allowing it to plot complex routes through Separatist-controlled space and beyond. Overall, the Providence-class Dreadnought's propulsion systems were engineered for maximum efficiency, ensuring that it remained a highly mobile and tactically flexible warship despite its considerable size. Its combination of high-speed capabilities, advanced maneuvering systems, and intelligent energy distribution made it a formidable force on the battlefield, capable of executing both aggressive assaults and strategic retreats with precision. The Providence-class Dreadnought was a masterful fusion of engineering and design, built to serve as a capital warship capable of dominating space engagements while fulfilling the dual role of a battleship and carrier. Developed by the Free DAC Volunteers Engineering Corps in collaboration with Rendeley's Star Drive, this vessel was a prime example of Separatist naval superiority, incorporating advanced technology and a robust structural design to ensure its effectiveness in prolonged campaigns. The Dreadnought came in two primary size variants, with the standard model measuring 1,088 meters in length, while a larger variant, built for enhanced operational capacity, extended to 2,177.35 meters. Despite their size differences, both versions shared the same fundamental design philosophy: maximizing firepower, defensive resilience, and starfighter deployment capabilities while maintaining a formidable presence on the battlefield. At the core of the Providence-class Dreadnought's operations was its reactor system, which supplied power to all primary systems, including propulsion, weapons, shielding, and life support. The exact specifications of these reactors were kept classified by the Separatists, but they were known to be highly efficient, capable of sustaining prolonged combat operations without significant degradation in performance. The ship's power distribution was carefully managed to ensure that energy could be reallocated as needed, with priority given to shields and weapons during engagements and propulsion during fleet maneuvers. Defensive capabilities were a cornerstone of the Dreadnought's design, featuring some of the thickest armor plating among Separatist warships. The reinforced hull was composed of a high-density Durasteel titanium alloy, which provided substantial protection against both kinetic and energy-based attacks. This armor was layered strategically, with additional plating concentrated around critical areas such as the bridge, engine compartments, and weapons emplacements. Complementing its armor was an advanced shielding array that included standard deflector shields and specialized thermal shields. The deflector shields provided broad-spectrum protection against laser and projectile weapons, while the thermal shields were specifically designed to dissipate and absorb high-intensity energy blasts, reducing the effectiveness of sustained enemy fire. This combination of shielding systems ensured that the Providence-class could withstand heavy bombardment, allowing it to maintain offensive operations even under significant duress. The vessel's sensor and communication systems were designed for long-range detection and strategic coordination, making it an effective command ship within the Separatist Navy. Its sensor suite could detect enemy movements and battlefield anomalies at vast distances, providing fleet commanders with critical intelligence during engagements. The onboard navigation computer ensured precise hyperspace calculations, allowing the Dreadnought to execute rapid jumps across the galaxy with minimal risk. Secure communications channels facilitated coordination between fleet elements, enabling real-time strategy adjustments and synchronized attacks. Internally, the ship was structured to accommodate both its droid and organic crew members. The command bridge was designed with advanced control consoles and holographic tactical displays, allowing officers to oversee fleet engagements with precision. Crew quarters varied depending on rank and function, with officers receiving private chambers while standard personnel were housed in communal barracks. The ship's automated maintenance systems, including repair droids and diagnostics units, ensured that essential operations continued smoothly with minimal manual intervention. Life support systems on the Providence-class were robust, maintaining stable atmospheric conditions and temperature regulation throughout the vessel. Air filtration units ensured that organic crew members had a consistent oxygen supply, while emergency life support pods were strategically placed in case of hull breaches. These systems were optimized to function efficiently even during prolonged deep space deployments, ensuring the sustainability of the ship's crew. The Dreadnought's cargo capacity was substantial, capable of holding up to 18,000 metric tons of supplies, ammunition, and spare components. This vast storage space allowed the vessel to sustain lengthy campaigns without frequent resupply, making it ideal for prolonged sieges and extended operations. The cargo bays were also used to store additional droid reinforcements, which could be deployed as needed to support planetary invasions or supplement the ship's defenses. In terms of lighting and interior design, the Providence-class maintained the characteristic Separatist aesthetic, featuring dimly lit corridors with red emergency lighting and cold metallic surfaces. The ship's interior was optimized for both efficiency and intimidation, reflecting the pragmatic and militaristic nature of its designers. Overall, the Providence-class Dreadnought was a technological marvel, combining formidable firepower, resilient defenses, and strategic versatility into a single warship. Its meticulous engineering and advanced systems made it a cornerstone of the Separatist fleet, capable of withstanding prolonged engagements while serving as a mobile command center, carrier, and battleship in one. The Providence-class Dreadnought was a highly sophisticated warship that combined automation, droid efficiency, and organic leadership to create one of the most formidable vessels in the Confederacy of Independent Systems, CIS Navy. Designed for both space superiority and planetary invasions, its crew composition reflected the Separatist doctrine of leveraging droid automation alongside skilled organic officers. The vessel was engineered to function with minimal organic personnel, relying on tactical droids, pilot droids, and repair droids to handle the majority of shipboard operations. Nevertheless, organic officers played a vital role in fleet coordination, strategic decision-making, and crisis management, ensuring that the ship maintained tactical superiority over Republic forces. The crew was structured in a hierarchical format, with an organic or droid commander at the top. In many instances, high-ranking Separatist leaders such as General Grievous or Admiral Trench commanded these dreadnoughts, especially when serving as fleet flagships. The commanding officer bore full responsibility for battle tactics, fleet coordination, and shipboard operations, ensuring that orders from the Separatist High Command were executed efficiently. Below the commander, an executive officer, XO, oversaw the direct operation of the vessel, ensuring that different departments functioned cohesively. The XO acted as the primary intermediary between the ship's various divisions, relaying orders and overseeing their execution. Control of the ship was divided into several specialized departments, each of which played a crucial role in maintaining combat readiness and operational efficiency. Navigation and helm control was tasked with overseeing the ship's movement, plotting hyperspace jumps, and executing complex battlefield maneuvers. Piloting duties were often handled by series droid pilots programmed with advanced starship handling protocols. Weapons and Gunnery Command operated the ship's vast array of turbolasers, ion cannons, and missile launchers, ensuring that firepower was delivered with precision against enemy vessels. This section was largely droid-operated, with automated targeting systems assisting in rapid targeting and firing solutions. Starfighter Command was responsible for launching, recovering, and coordinating the 240 starfighters housed within the vessel's hangars. The Dreadnought's hangar bays were highly automated, with Vulture droids, Tri-fighters, and Hyena-class bombers being launched at a moment's notice, under the command of tactical droids overseeing fighter formations and battle strategies. Maintaining the ship's structural and operational integrity fell to the engineering and maintenance department, which ensured that ion drives, shield generators, and power distribution systems remained in peak condition. The engineering crew consisted primarily of B-1 labor droids, EG-6 power droids, and PK-series maintenance droids, all programmed to conduct rapid repairs and diagnostics. These automated repair units allowed the Dreadnought to sustain damage in prolonged engagements while remaining fully operational. The Communications and Sensor Division oversaw encrypted transmissions, fleet coordination, and enemy detection, utilizing advanced long-range sensor arrays and jamming technology to disrupt enemy HoloNet transmissions. Specialized B-1 communication droids and organic officers worked to ensure that all fleet communications remained secure and uninterrupted during battle. Training of the organic crew members varied depending on their origins. Many officers came from Separatist-aligned factions such as the Trade Federation, Techno-Union, or Corporate Alliance, each of which maintained their own military academies and naval training programs. Unlike the centralized training regimen of the Republic's clone Navy, Separatist naval personnel had varying degrees of skill, with some receiving formal training while others were mercenaries or corporate-funded officers. The most disciplined and well-trained crews often came from the Quarren-free DAC Volunteers Engineering Corps, which not only built many Providence-class ships but also staffed them. Tactical droids such as T-Series strategists and OUM command units often received direct programming updates to improve their battlefield efficiency, eliminating the need for traditional training. The droid crew made up the majority of the Providence-class personnel, performing nearly every function necessary for ship operations. B-1 battle droids were stationed throughout the vessel for basic security and manual labor, while B-2 super battle droids guarded critical areas such as the bridge, reactor core, and hangar bays. Series pilot droids ensured precise maneuvering, particularly during hyperspace navigation and fleet coordination. Tactical droids, with their advanced strategic processing capabilities, assisted in shipboard command, analyzing battle conditions in real time and adapting tactics accordingly. Astromech and repair droids, including R-Series units and Q-7 series technicians, handled system diagnostics, hyperdrive calculations, and emergency repairs, ensuring that the Dreadnought could operate autonomously for extended periods. The Providence-class's troop capacity was among its greatest strategic advantages, allowing it to function as both a command ship and an invasion platform. The vessel was capable of carrying over 48,247 organic troops, including planetary militias, mercenaries, and Separatist-aligned forces. Additionally, it housed 1.5 million deactivated battle droids, which could be deployed en masse during planetary assaults. Troops and droids were rapidly transported to the battlefield using multi-troop transports, MTTs, C-9979 landing craft, HMP droid gunships, and various shuttlecraft, ensuring rapid deployment for ground operations. Morale aboard the Dreadnought varied based on the crew composition. Droid personnel operated without emotion, strictly adhering to pre-programmed directives. Tactical droids, while more independent, occasionally expressed frustration when subordinates failed to meet operational efficiency standards. Organic personnel, by contrast, had highly variable morale levels, influenced by leadership, faction loyalty, and combat conditions. Officers from the Trade Federation and Techno-Union were often driven by financial incentives and career advancement, while those from the Quarren-free DAC volunteers were deeply committed to the Separatist cause. Mercenary crews, when present, typically had lower morale as their allegiance depended on monetary compensation rather than ideology. Discipline aboard the Dreadnought was enforced through strict security protocols, battle regulations, and in some cases droid enforcers such as B-2 super battle droids stationed throughout the ship. Tactical droids were known for their rigid adherence to operational efficiency, and failures in performance were often met with immediate reassignment or deactivation. Shipboard regulations mandated structured duty shifts, regular tactical briefings, and pre-battle readiness drills, ensuring that all crew members were prepared for combat at all times. The standard equipment issued to organic crew members included uniforms color-coded by rank and faction, personal blaster sidearms for self-defense, encrypted data pads for ship system access, and breath masks with life support vests in case of hull breaches. Emergency protocols dictated that escape pods were prioritized for high-ranking officers, while droid personnel were often left behind in the event of ship abandonment. Providence-class Dreadnoughts incorporated highly advanced astromech and repair droids to assist with navigation, hyperspace calculations, and battle damage control. These droids played a crucial role in ensuring that the ship remained combat-ready for prolonged engagements. Automated repair systems allowed for self-repair capabilities, with dedicated maintenance droids working continuously to restore damaged systems. This automation allowed the Dreadnought to endure extended battles with minimal downtime. The crew of a Providence-class Dreadnought represented the pinnacle of Separatist naval doctrine, blending automated efficiency with strategic leadership. The integration of droid labor, advanced tactical programming, and skilled organic officers allowed these ships to function as mobile war machines, capable of executing large-scale fleet engagements, planetary blockades, and full-scale invasions with ruthless efficiency. The Providence-class Dreadnought was outfitted with a devastating array of weaponry, making it one of the most heavily armed warships deployed by the Confederacy of Independent Systems during the Clone Wars. Designed for both fleet engagements and planetary assaults, its firepower was capable of decimating enemy formations, breaching planetary defenses, and holding entire star systems under blockade. The sheer volume and power of its armament ensured that it could stand toe-to-toe with Republic Venator-class star destroyers and other major warships in open combat. The ship's primary armament consisted of 14 heavy quad turbolaser batteries, strategically positioned along its port and starboard sides to provide overlapping fields of fire. Each of these batteries had an output capable of generating energy equivalent to a magnitude 10 earthquake, capable of obliterating enemy vessels with a sustained barrage. These turbolasers had an impressive range, allowing the Dreadnought to engage opponents from significant distances while maintaining a defensive perimeter around itself. The turbolasers were mounted on fast-tracking turrets, enabling them to adjust targeting angles rapidly and engage fast-moving enemy craft with efficiency. To supplement its main battery, the Providence-class was equipped with 34 dual heavy laser cannons mounted along its dorsal and ventral surfaces. These cannons provided additional firepower against capital ships, but were also effective against starfighters and other agile targets. 12 twin light-ion cannons, located along the ship's flanks, specialized in disabling enemy shields and systems, allowing the Dreadnought's other weaponry to finish off disabled targets with ease. Additionally, the vessel carried 2 forward-mounted battleship-class ion cannons, which were among its most powerful weapons. These heavy ion cannons were designed to deliver crippling volleys against enemy warships, disrupting shields and onboard electronics, rendering targets vulnerable to follow-up attacks. For dealing with starfighters, missile strikes, and smaller assault craft, the Dreadnought featured 12 heavy flak cannons, which could double as mass driver cannons. These weapons blanketed the surrounding space with high-explosive rounds, creating lethal kill zones that shredded incoming fighters and projectiles before they could reach the hull. The point defense network was further enhanced by 10 heavy tractor beam projectors, which could be used to capture enemy ships, disrupt formations, or pull starfighters into optimal firing solutions. One of the most significant offensive assets of the Providence-class was its extensive missile arsenal. The Dreadnought boasted 102 proton torpedo launchers, each capable of firing 3 torpedoes in a single salvo. This allowed the vessel to unleash a massive wave of high-explosive ordnance in a short amount of time, devastating enemy warships, ground-based fortifications, or heavily armored targets. The torpedo systems were fully integrated with advanced targeting computers, ensuring maximum accuracy even at long ranges. Cooling and energy distribution systems were essential for maintaining the performance of these formidable weapons. Each battery was equipped with independent heat dissipation systems, ensuring that prolonged firing would not cause overheating or system failures. Auxiliary energy routing allowed power to be redistributed between different weapon systems depending on battlefield conditions, ensuring optimal performance even when the Dreadnought was sustaining damage. Additionally, a redundant targeting array, linked to droid-assisted fire control, ensured that all weapons could be coordinated effectively, allowing for precise, calculated strikes against enemy forces. Despite its already formidable armament, some commanders further modified their Providence-class Dreadnoughts. Some variations incorporated additional point defense systems, while others featured experimental turbolaser modifications to increase range and firepower at the cost of higher energy consumption. These modifications were often implemented by elite Separatist officers seeking to gain an edge over the Republic Navy. Beyond its offensive capabilities, the Providence-class also functioned as a carrier, capable of deploying up to 240 starfighters, including 120 Vulture-class droid starfighters and 120 droid tri-fighters. These fighter complements allowed the Dreadnought to maintain space superiority and launch overwhelming attacks against enemy fleets. In addition to starfighters, the vessel could carry over 100 armored vehicles, including multi-troop transports, armored assault tanks, landing craft, shuttles, and HMP droid gunships, making it a formidable platform for planetary invasions. With its unparalleled combination of heavy weaponry, advanced targeting systems, and fighter deployment capabilities, the Providence-class Dreadnought stood as one of the most powerful warships of its time. It was a fearsome symbol of the Separatist military's might, designed to crush Republic resistance wherever it was deployed. The Providence-class Dreadnought was developed as a powerful and versatile warship, designed by Quarren engineers from the Free DAC Volunteers Engineering Corps on Pamant. It was originally intended to serve as a command and assault vessel for the Trade Federation, but was later fully incorporated into the naval forces of the Confederacy of Independent Systems. The warship's development was a response to the Republic's increasing militarization, requiring a capital ship that could act as a command center while possessing formidable offensive capabilities. The construction of each dreadnought was a complex and expensive process, with production costs reaching approximately 400 million credits per unit for the larger models. Assembly took place in high-capacity shipyards across Separatist-controlled territories, particularly on planets like Pamant and Mon Cala, where Quarren engineers worked tirelessly to manufacture these warships. The modular nature of the Dreadnought's design allowed for efficient mass production, with separate components such as hull sections, engines, and weapons arrays being constructed independently before being assembled into the final structure. Each Providence-class vessel was fitted with an advanced reactor system to power its weapons, shields, and propulsion, requiring a dedicated team of engineers and droid technicians to ensure peak operational efficiency. Due to its heavy firepower and large carrier capacity, the Dreadnought played a crucial role in large-scale fleet engagements, planetary blockades, and invasion operations. Its production involved a vast logistics network, including the transportation of raw materials, advanced droid manufacturing plants, and specialized shipyards dedicated to final assembly. Despite its immense power, the Providence-class was costly to maintain, leading the Separatist Admiralty to deploy it strategically rather than as a standard warship. Only the most important battles or fleet actions saw the presence of these dreadnoughts, ensuring that their devastating firepower was reserved for critical moments in the war. The Invisible Hand, one of the most infamous Providence-class warships, served as General Grievous's flagship and played a pivotal role in the Battle of Coruscant before being destroyed during the engagement. After the Clone Wars ended and the Republic transitioned into the Galactic Empire, most Providence-class dreadnoughts were decommissioned and sent to shipbreaking facilities like Braca, where they were dismantled for scrap. Some vessels, however, saw further use. A modified and downsized version of the class was later employed by Birch Teller's Rebel Cell, featuring components salvaged from the Lucid Voice and the Invincible. Additionally, at least one Providence-class dreadnought, with an expanded stern and enhanced engines, was utilized by the Rebel Alliance, fighting alongside Mon Calamari warships against the Imperial Navy. The legacy of the Providence-class dreadnought persisted long after its initial development, influencing future capital ship designs and serving as a symbol of the Separatist war effort during the Clone Wars. In 22 BBY, during the Clone Wars between the Galactic Republic and the Confederacy of Independent Systems, CIS, the Confederacy launched an invasion of the strategically important crystalline planet Christophus. The planet held vital resources and was positioned along the Corellian Run, making it a key location for both military and economic reasons. The CIS dispatched a formidable force, led by the ruthless Kirkoidan General Horm Loathsome, and assisted by the deadly Sith assassin Asajj Ventress. The Confederacy's droid army quickly occupied the planet's surface, setting the stage for a fierce confrontation. In orbit above Christophus, the Confederacy established a blockade consisting of at least 30 ships, including 6 massive Lucre Hulk-class battleships and 23 Munificent-class star frigates. This formidable fleet was commanded by Admiral Trench, a seasoned Harch strategist, aboard his flagship, the Providence-class Dreadnought Invincible. The blockade effectively cut off any reinforcements or supplies from reaching the Republic forces on the ground. The Republic, recognizing the strategic importance of Christophus, sent a fleet led by Jedi General Obi-Wan Kenobi and his Padawan, Anakin Skywalker, to break the blockade and liberate the planet. The battle that ensued was fierce, with the Republic's forces facing off against the overwhelming droid army and the formidable blockade. However, with the leadership of the Jedi and the skill of the clone army, the Republic was ultimately able to break the blockade, ensuring Christophus would remain in their hands for the time being. The battle served as a crucial turning point in the early stages of the Clone Wars. Following the establishment of the blockade around Christophus, the Republic responded by dispatching a fleet led by Jedi General Anakin Skywalker. The fleet consisted of 3 Venator-class Star Destroyers and 3 Pelta-class frigates, tasked with breaking the blockade and delivering crucial relief supplies to the planet's surface. The 2 fleets clashed in orbit above Christophus, with the Republic fleet engaging the Confederacy's formidable blockade. As the battle unfolded, the Invincible, Admiral Trench's flagship, made a calculated move to advance towards the Republic's lead ship, the Resolute. Its relentless assault on the Republic fleet forced Skywalker's ships to divert more power to their forward shields in a desperate attempt to withstand the barrage of turbolaser fire. The Invincible's tactical superiority allowed it to isolate the Republic's Pelta-class frigates from the Venator-class star destroyers, exploiting the gap and using its overwhelming firepower to destroy one of the frigates. The destruction of the Republic ship severely hampered their ability to maintain their formation and provide full support for the relief mission. However, Skywalker, renowned for his tactical ingenuity, pressed forward, determined to break the blockade and ensure the Republic could continue its mission. As the Invincible continued its relentless bombardment of the Republic fleet, General Anakin Skywalker, determined to break through the blockade, made the bold decision to overcharge the reactors of his ships in an attempt to force their way through the enemy lines. In response, Admiral Trench ordered his forces to hold their position and increase the power to their forward deflector shields, anticipating the Republic's aggressive maneuver. However, as the battle raged on, reinforcements arrived in the form of Jedi General Obi-Wan Kenobi, who commanded his own fleet. Upon assessing the situation, Obi-Wan advised Skywalker to withdraw behind the moon of Lysis and regroup, revealing that he had devised a counter-strategy. Skywalker, reluctant but trusting in his fellow Jedi's wisdom, ordered his fleet to retreat to the far side of the moon. On the Invincible, Trench's tactical droid, TY-99, questioned whether they should pursue the retreating Republic forces. The Arch Admiral, however, calmly stated that their mission was to maintain the blockade, and the Republic would likely return, confident that the situation was under control. Once the Republic fleet had retreated, Admiral Trench ordered the recharging of the Invincible's shields, as well as a reset of its cannons. With the blockade holding strong and the immediate threat temporarily diminished, Trench and his forces prepared for the next phase of their mission, unaware that Obi-Wan's plan was about to unfold. While the Republic fleet took refuge behind the moon of Lysis, Admiral Trench remained resolute in his strategy. He ordered his tactical droid, TY-99, to provide an update on the surface engagements. The droid reported that it would take approximately half a rotation before the Confederacy could successfully seize control of the planet, a situation Trench found unacceptable. In an effort to hasten the process and provoke the Republic into action, Trench decided to escalate the conflict by ordering a squadron of Hyena-class droid bombers to attack the surface, targeting the position of Senator Bail Organa. The bombers were deployed with precision, and their mission was clear: bomb the Senator's location and undermine the Republic's position on the planet. However, as the bombers approached their target, they unknowingly flew directly over General Skywalker, who had been ordered by Obi-Wan Kenobi to use a prototype stealth ship to deliver the much-needed relief supplies to the surface. The Republic's plan to resupply was at risk of being discovered by the Confederacy's aerial assault, and Skywalker would need to act swiftly to avoid being caught in the crossfire of the bombing run. After the bombing run, Skywalker, determined to break the blockade and achieve victory, decided to take a more aggressive stance. He engaged the Invincible head-on, deactivating the cloaking device of his stealth ship. By doing so, Skywalker revealed his position to Admiral Trench, immediately launching several torpedoes aimed directly at the Invincible's command bridge. However, the Dreadnought's powerful thermal shields successfully repelled the attack, much to Skywalker's frustration. In response, Trench ordered his crew to fire a barrage of turbolaser fire at the stealth ship, hoping to neutralize the Republic's threat. But just as the lasers came within range, Skywalker once again activated the cloaking device, evading the barrage and vanishing from the Invincible's sensors. Despite the failure of his attempts to damage the stealth ship, Trench began to realize the true nature of his opponent. He concluded that it wasn't simply a clone trooper piloting the vessel, but a Jedi, and more specifically, General Skywalker. Recognizing the dangerous skill of the Jedi, Trench opted to make contact with Skywalker directly. Over the comms, the Arch Admiral warned the Republic forces to retreat while they still could. He acknowledged the impressive nature of the Republic's stealth ship, but claimed that he had fought similar vessels in the past, implying that it would not be enough to defeat him. Trench's confidence in his tactical abilities and experience as a commander was clear, but it was also evident that he underestimated the determination and skill of Jedi Skywalker, who was more than willing to press the fight for the fate of Christophsis. After the transmission ended, Trench, ever the seasoned strategist, was certain that Skywalker would not back down. Understanding the capabilities of a stealth ship, he surmised that the Republic ship could easily slip past the blockade unnoticed, but Skywalker had intentionally chosen to engage. Trench's theory was soon proven correct when Skywalker once again activated the cloaking device, only to reappear moments later and fire another round of torpedoes at the Invincible, which were once again repelled by the Dreadnought's formidable thermal shields. However, this time, Trench was prepared. By tracking the stealth ship's magnetic signature after the torpedoes had been fired, the Invincible lowered its shields to enhance the accuracy of its targeting systems. With this information, Trench ordered his crew to fire several tracking torpedoes towards Skywalker's ship, hoping to pin down its exact location. The torpedoes fired in quick succession, but Skywalker skillfully evaded them, using the stealth ship's agility to avoid their impact. Skywalker, realizing that the only way to defeat the Invincible was to take direct action, disengaged the cloaking device once again and, with full engine power, made a bold maneuver toward the unshielded Invincible. He fired a precise volley of torpedoes, which found their mark and struck the Dreadnought's bridge, detonating it and causing the ship to explode in a spectacular display of fiery destruction. With the Invincible destroyed, the entire blockade was thrown into disarray, and the Republic fleet, led by General Obi-Wan Kenobi, returned to the fray. The chaos following the loss of Trench's flagship provided the Republic with the upper hand, allowing them to break the blockade and continue their mission on Christophsis. Skywalker's daring strategy had turned the tide of the battle, ensuring the Republic's success in the confrontation. After the Confederacy's victory over the Republic on Felucia in 21 BBY, which allowed them to secure the Prelimian trade route, the Separatist Navy launched a follow-up attack on the Felucia Medical Station, HCTFF-2. This Republic Haven-class medical station, located in the Felucia system, had been one of the key facilities providing medical care to Republic forces during the Clone Wars. The assault was led by a Providence-class Dreadnought, accompanied by 2 Munificent-class star frigates. The Separatist fleet, under the command of a skilled officer, targeted the medical station with a heavy barrage of fire. The station's defenses, though formidable, were overwhelmed by the coordinated attack, resulting in its destruction. The loss of HCTFF-2 represented a significant blow to the Republic's medical infrastructure in the region, further hampering their ability to maintain effective operations in the face of the ongoing conflict. The destruction of such facilities also underscored the increasing toll the war was taking on the Republic's resources and its capacity to provide aid to its forces across the galaxy. After the failed attempt earlier in the Clone Wars, General Grievous and Asajj Ventress, working in tandem, planned a second invasion of Kamino, the crucial cloning world for the Republic's army. However, their plans were intercepted when the Republic decoded a transmission between the two, revealing the plot. This critical intelligence allowed the Republic to prepare a defense and deploy the 501st Legion to Kamino. Upon arriving in the Kamino system, General Grievous commanded the Separatist fleet from his flagship, a Providence-class Dreadnought. This ship, a symbol of the Confederacy's military might, was supported by a fleet of Munificent-class star frigates and Recusant-class light destroyers, which formed the backbone of Grievous's invasion force. With this formidable fleet, the Separatists aimed to neutralize the Republic's cloning facilities, but the Republic was ready for them. The ensuing battle would see the Republic forces, led by the Jedi and the 501st, attempting to protect the cloning facilities and prevent Grievous from accomplishing his objective. The battle for control over the planet Sullust was a pivotal moment during the Clone Wars, where a Separatist fleet, under the command of the dark side assassin Asajj Ventress, clashed with the Republic forces commanded by Jedi Generals Anakin Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi. A Providence-class Dreadnought flew under Ventress's banner as part of the Separatist fleet, and the battle itself became a significant confrontation. As the conflict escalated, Count Dooku, at the behest of his master Darth Sidious, was ordered to eliminate Ventress to demonstrate his unwavering loyalty. The Separatist tactical droid, TJ-912, following these orders, instructed the fleet to retreat, but not before launching a devastating attack on the Separatist command ship. In the chaos that followed, Ventress found herself in a brief lightsaber duel with Jedi General Skywalker and Kenobi. Despite the battle's ferocity and the destruction of the Dreadnought, Ventress managed to narrowly escape, leaving behind the wreckage of the Separatist vessel as Republic forces claimed victory. After Jedi Master Even Piell uncovered the location of the strategic Nexus Route hyperspace lane, his forces were ambushed by a Separatist fleet led by a Providence-class carrier-boiler destroyer. The ambush resulted in Piell's capture and imprisonment at the Citadel, a heavily fortified prison located on the volcanic planet Lola Sayu. The Citadel was known for its seemingly inescapable security, making Piell's capture a significant blow to the Republic's efforts. The Separatists' capture of Piell was a strategic move, as the Jedi Master held vital information regarding the Nexus Route, a key hyperspace lane that could have given the Republic a tactical advantage. The situation prompted a daring rescue mission, which would involve a Republic task force to infiltrate the Citadel and free Master Piell from the Separatists' clutches. Upon receiving the distressing news of Jedi Master Even Piell's capture, the Republic swiftly mobilized a specialized rescue team to prevent the Separatists from gaining access to the critical coordinates of the Nexus Route hyperspace lane. The mission was led by Jedi Generals Anakin Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi, alongside Captain Rex and the 501st Legion. The team entered the Lola Sayu system aboard a stolen Separatists-class Type B shuttle, a vessel commonly used for stealth missions. However, their approach did not go unnoticed as they encountered the Separatists' planetary defense fleet. This fleet, led by a formidable Separatist Dreadnought, posed a serious threat to the Republic's covert operation. Despite the overwhelming firepower, the Jedi team used their skills and ingenuity to navigate through the fleet's defenses, ultimately making their way to the Citadel on Lola Sayu. The rescue mission was fraught with peril, but the Republic team remained determined to extract Master Piell before the Separatists could extract the hyperlane's coordinates, ensuring the Republic's continued advantage in the war. After successfully rescuing Jedi Master Even Piell from the Citadel on Lola Sayu, the Republic team attempted to make their escape aboard the stolen Separatists-class shuttle. However, the shuttle was destroyed during their departure, leaving the rescue team stranded on the planet's surface. To secure their extraction, the Republic quickly dispatched a task force consisting of 4 Venator-class Star Destroyers, led by Jedi Master Plo Koon. The Republic fleet engaged the Separatist Planetary Defense Fleet, which included the Separatist Dreadnought and various other warships. The Republic task force, though outnumbered, pressed the attack with precision and force, ensuring that the escape route was cleared for the stranded team. Master Plo Koon's fleet provided the necessary fire support, allowing the rescue team to reach safety as they fought off the Separatist forces in a fierce battle above Lola Sayu. The operation highlighted the Republic's unwavering resolve and its commitment to saving its forces, regardless of the odds. During the Clone Wars, General Grievous, the cyborg leader of the Separatist forces, launched a sudden and devastating attack on Jedi Master Adi Gallia and her fleet. The conflict unfolded near the planet Patitaite Patuna, where Grievous, commanding his personal Providence-class cruiser carrier, confronted Master Gallia aboard her flagship, a Republic Star Destroyer. Grievous, a formidable opponent in combat, engaged Gallia in a lightsaber duel on the deck of her ship. Despite her skill, Gallia was ultimately overwhelmed by the cyborg general's strength and ruthless tactics. In a critical moment, Grievous succeeded in capturing Master Gallia, further demonstrating his cunning and ability to take down high-ranking Jedi. This attack marked another example of Grievous's relentless campaign to strike at the Republic's leadership, and his capture of Master Gallia was a significant blow to the Jedi Order during the war. After Jedi Master Adi Gallia's capture, General Grievous continued his ruthless tactics aboard his Providence-class Dreadnought. While still holding Gallia captive, Grievous encountered the Wike pirate ship Marauder. Seeing it as a threat or a nuisance, he immediately ordered his bridge crew to use it as target practice. The Separatist Dreadnought unleashed a barrage of firepower, obliterating the pirate vessel. Meanwhile, the Republic was mounting a rescue operation. A fleet of Republic Star Destroyers, led by Jedi Master Plo Koon, arrived in the system to intercept the Separatist vessel. Engaging the Dreadnought in a fierce battle, the Republic forces launched a concentrated attack on Grievous's ship. Despite significant damage to the Providence-class Dreadnought, the Republic forces were able to board the ship and successfully retrieve Master Gallia from captivity. However, General Grievous, ever the escape artist, managed to flee the scene during the chaos, leaving behind a heavily damaged cruiser, but with Gallia safely returned to the Republic. Around the second year of the Clone Wars, the planet Umbara, once a loyal member of the Galactic Republic, seceded following the death of Senator Medici, who had represented the planet in the Galactic Senate. In the wake of his death, the Umbaran government aligned itself with the Separatist Alliance, turning its back on the Republic. This shift in allegiance prompted the Separatists to establish a blockade around the planet, with their forces spearheaded by a formidable dreadnought. In response, the Republic launched a full-scale invasion to reclaim Umbara and bring it back into the fold. The conflict became a fierce battle for control of the planet, with both sides determined to secure its strategic importance. The Republic forces, made up of clone troopers and led by Jedi generals, engaged in brutal ground and space battles against the Separatist forces, including the powerful dreadnought that enforced the blockade. As the battle for Umbra intensified, the Separatists realized that their forces were struggling to maintain control of the planet. In a bid to bolster their crumbling defense, they deployed a DH Omni support vessel, which was tasked with providing crucial reinforcements and supplies to the remaining Umbaran forces. To ensure the success of this mission, the Separatists dispatched a sizable fleet to protect the vessel, including at least 3 dreadnoughts, 4 Recusant-class light destroyers, and 8 Munificent-class star frigates. The Republic, led by Jedi Generals Obi-Wan Kenobi, Anakin Skywalker, and the newly assigned Jedi General Pong Krell, were determined to prevent this reinforcement from reaching the planet. The battle escalated into a fierce struggle, with the Republic forces striving to cut off the Separatist supply lines and maintain their ground against the formidable Separatist fleet. After Asajj Ventress's failed attempt to kill her former master Count Dooku, and the subsequent betrayal by his new apprentice, Savage Opress, Dooku grew wary of the growing threats to his rule. Upon learning that Ventress had returned to her homeworld of Dathomir, Dooku saw this as an opportunity for revenge. He ordered General Grievous to lead a full-scale invasion of the planet, intending to eliminate Ventress, the powerful witch Mother Talzin, and the entire Night Sister clan. Dooku's motivation for this invasion was not only personal revenge against Ventress, whom he saw as a traitor, but also a strategic move to rid himself of any potential threats to his leadership and to weaken Talzin's influence over the Night Sisters. The invasion was a brutal strike against Dathomir, with Grievous forces sweeping across the planet, aiming to destroy everything tied to the Night Sisters' ancient power. Upon reaching the Dathomir system, General Grievous commanded his fleet, which included 4 Munificent-class star frigates, 2 Recusant-class light destroyers, 2 Separatist supply ships, and his personal Separatist Dreadnought. The fleet deployed in the system as Grievous ordered the Separatist forces to begin landing their droid troops on the planet's surface. The invasion was swift and brutal, with the primary objective being to wipe out the Night Sister clan and eliminate any threat from Mother Talzin and her followers. The battle on Dathomir was devastating for the Night Sisters. The droid army, supported by the Separatist warships, overran their defenses, effectively wiping out the clan and ensuring that Talzin's influence would be diminished. Despite their fierce resistance, the Night Sisters were unable to hold off the overwhelming might of the Separatist forces, marking a tragic end to the once powerful clan on Dathomir. As the Clone Wars continued, the Republic, having intercepted a cutoff transmission from General Grievous, grew concerned about an impending Separatist offensive. To counter this potential threat, they devised a plan to infiltrate a Separatist Dreadnought, which was under the command of the super tactical droid AUTO. The Dreadnought was carrying an encryption module that contained crucial information about the Separatists' upcoming strategies. To retrieve this intelligence, the Republic dispatched a squad of droids led by Zilkin Colonel Meeber Gaskin. The squad's mission was to secretly board the Separatist Dreadnought, retrieve the encryption module, and bring it back to the Republic. ensuring that the military would have the advantage in the upcoming conflict. The operation was perilous, requiring stealth and cunning, as the squad had to navigate through the heavily fortified Separatist ship, which was brimming with droid soldiers and automated defenses. During a critical phase of the Clone Wars, General Obi-Wan Kenobi and his task force found themselves ambushed by a formidable Separatist fleet led by General Grievous. The Separatist fleet consisted of 2 Providence-class Dreadnoughts, 1 Recusant-class destroyer, and 3 Munificent-class star frigates. The ambush took place during a crucial Republic operation, and the Separatists seized the opportunity to strike at Kenobi's forces. The battle was intense, with both sides suffering significant losses. One of the Munificent-class star frigates was destroyed in the conflict, and Kenobi's fleet, including his flagship, the Negotiator, was decimated in the engagement. Despite Kenobi's best efforts to rally his forces, the Separatists' superior firepower and tactical advantage overwhelmed the Republic ships, forcing them into retreat. The destruction of the Negotiator was a severe blow to the Republic, as it had been one of the fleet's primary command ships, and the loss of so many ships severely weakened their position in the system. The battle underscored the growing power of the Separatist fleet under Grievous' leadership and marked a significant moment in the ongoing war. In the final year of the Clone Wars, the Separatists launched an invasion of the Trade Federation planet of Cato Nemoidia, aiming to gain control of the planet and its strategic assets. However, the Republic mounted a fierce defense, led by Jedi Knight Anakin Skywalker, his Padawan Ahsoka Tano, and the elite 501 Saint Legion. The Republic fleet engaged the Separatist forces in orbit, and after a grueling battle, Skywalker and Tano led a squadron of Z-95 headhunters in a daring strike against the Separatist command ship and its accompanying cruisers. The 2 Jedi pilots displayed exceptional skill as they navigated through heavy enemy fire and managed to break through the Separatist lines. The battle in the skies above Cato Nemoidia was intense, with both sides deploying their most advanced starships and tactics. Despite the Separatists' best efforts, the Republic's combined strength, bolstered by the Jedi's leadership and the 501st Legion's professionalism, proved overwhelming. The Republic successfully pushed the Separatist fleet back and ensured the planet's defense, while Skywalker and Tano's efforts on the surface played a pivotal role in defeating the Separatist command ship. This victory was part of the Republic's broader strategy to regain control over key systems in the final stages of the Clone Wars, marking another significant battle in the ongoing conflict. During the Battle of Ringo Vinda, Separatist forces led by Admiral Trench attempted to repel the Republic's offensive against a strategically crucial, ring-shaped space station orbiting the planet. The Separatist fleet consisted of 5 Providence-class Dreadnoughts, which formed the core of their battle line, supported by 2 Recusant-class light destroyers. Trench's forces hoped to disrupt the Republic's fleet and maintain control over the station, but the Republic responded with overwhelming firepower. The Republic's fleet, which included 20 Venator-class star destroyers, 1 Arquitans-class light cruiser, 1 Acclamator-class assault ship, and 3 Consular-class cruisers, laid siege to the Separatist vessels. The battle was fierce, with the Republic using its superior numbers and heavy firepower to gradually wear down the Separatist defenses. The Providence-class Dreadnoughts, known for their formidable weaponry and heavy shielding, took considerable damage in the engagement, as the Republic forces concentrated their fire on these key assets. Despite the Separatists' best efforts to defend the space station and repel the Republic fleet, the combined firepower of the Republic forces proved too much. The Separatist Dreadnought sustained significant damage, and the Republic fleet ultimately emerged victorious in the battle, dealing a major blow to Admiral Trench's forces. The Republic's success at Ringo Vinda further undermined the Separatists' control over the region, and marked another strategic victory as the Clone Wars neared their conclusion. During the invasion of the intergalactic banking clan world of Scipio, Count Dooku played a key role in the Separatist efforts to manipulate the galaxy's financial systems. Stationed aboard his personal Providence-class Dreadnought, Dooku masterminded the plan to deceive Rush Clovis into raising interest rates on the Republic, ultimately aiming to destabilize its economy and secure greater influence for the Separatists. Once Dooku had accomplished his mission, the situation escalated as a Republic fleet, commanded by Jedi General Anakin Skywalker, arrived to defend Scipio. Faced with the impending Republic attack, Dooku and his flotilla of Separatist ships, which included several other dreadnoughts, decided to retreat from the system to avoid a direct confrontation with the Republic forces. Despite Dooku's efforts to sway Clovis and disrupt the Republic's financial system, his fleet's withdrawal allowed the Republic to gain control of Scipio and prevent further Separatist influence over the banking clan. The Republic's success in this battle was a strategic win, as it ensured that Scipio remained loyal to the Republic and prevented the Separatists from gaining a foothold in such a critical sector of galactic commerce. After their defeat on Zonbar, Maul and Mother Talzin, aware that the Sith and Separatists were possibly trying to flush her out, formulated a plan to trap Count Dooku and General Grievous. They decided to lure the Separatist fleet to the remote planet of Ord Mantell, using it as the stage for their trap. As the Separatist forces landed on the surface, they were immediately engaged by the forces of the Shadow Collective, which included the Knight Brothers and other Maul loyalists. While the battle raged on below, Maul infiltrated the Separatist Dreadnought. Once aboard, he confronted General Grievous, threatening the cyborg warlord with certain death unless he complied. With little choice, Grievous ordered his droid army to deactivate, allowing Maul to capture him. Meanwhile, Count Dooku, who had successfully defeated the Knight Brothers on the surface, found himself outmaneuvered by Maul's forces and was eventually captured as well. With both key Separatist leaders now in their custody, Maul and Talzin's trap proved successful. The Shadow Collective's cunning had turned the tables, briefly neutralizing the leaders of the Confederacy, but the ramifications of such a capture would soon unfold, as both Dooku and Grievous would need to be rescued by their own forces. This event underscored the deepening political complexities of the Clone Wars, where allegiances were ever shifting, and even the mightiest leaders were vulnerable. During the Outer Rim sieges, the Separatists, led by Admiral Trench, launched a major assault on the planet Anaxes, seeking to capture the vital Republic shipyards that were essential to the Republic's naval operations. Trench commanded his fleet from aboard his new flagship, the Invulnerable, supported by a formidable force of at least 2 other Providence-class Dreadnoughts, 7 Munificent-class star frigates, 2 Reticent-class light destroyers, and 6 DH Omni support vessels. In the early stages of the battle, the Republic forces, led by General Anakin Skywalker and Jedi Commander Ahsoka Tano, were able to hold off the Separatists, containing their advance and preventing them from securing the shipyards. However, as weeks of relentless fighting wore on, the Separatists began to gain the upper hand. Trench's fleet, bolstered by superior numbers and firepower, steadily pushed back the Republic defenses. The turning point came when the Separatists gained access to a strategic advantage, a strategy algorithm designed by clone Captain Rex. The algorithm had been extracted from the mind of Echo, a clone trooper who had been thought to be killed during the Battle of Lola Sayu. Echo, however, had been taken prisoner by the Separatists and tortured, but his mind had been preserved, and the algorithm, which contained tactical knowledge, was now being used by the Separatists to predict Republic movements and counter their strategies. With this new advantage, the Separatists were able to outmaneuver the Republic forces, effectively turning the tide in their favor. The capture of Anaxes became imminent, threatening the Republic's ability to continue its war efforts in the Outer Rim and signaling the growing danger posed by the Separatists' strategic capabilities. This battle further highlighted the shifting dynamics of the war, with the Separatists leveraging both military might and intelligence to challenge the Republic's dominance. During the later stages of the Outer Rim sieges, General Grievous led a formidable fleet of 6 Providence-class Dreadnoughts in a major confrontation with a Republic fleet consisting of 6 Republic Star Destroyers. The battle took place in the midst of the ongoing siege, with Grievous forces intent on disrupting the Republic's naval operations in the region. As the engagement unfolded, intense dogfights broke out around the Dreadnoughts, with Republic clone pilots flying Z-95 headhunters and Separatist droid tri-fighters clashing in the skies. These smaller, agile fighters darted around the massive Dreadnoughts, attacking from multiple angles in an effort to weaken the enemy's defenses. The Z-95s and tri-fighters provided a tactical advantage for their respective sides, but they also served as distractions for the larger vessels in the battle. The Separatist Dreadnoughts, despite their impressive firepower, were not immune to the attacks of the Republic forces. At least 2 of Grievous' Providence-class ships sustained significant hull damage as a result of these dogfights and concentrated fire from the Republic Star Destroyers. The damage to the Dreadnoughts was a testament to the resilience and effectiveness of the Republic's smaller forces in the chaos of the battle. Despite the setbacks, Grievous continued to press the attack, though the battle highlighted the vulnerability of even the largest capital ships when engaged in a close, chaotic skirmish with fast-moving starfighters. It was a reminder that in the complex warfare of the Outer Rim sieges, success often depended not just on sheer firepower, but also on strategic coordination between different types of military assets. As the Clone Wars drew to a close, the Republic focused its efforts on key strategic objectives that could deal a significant blow to the Separatists. One such objective was the capture of Cato Neimoidia, a crucial world in the Confederacy's supply chain. The Jedi Council dispatched Jedi Master Plo Koon to lead the Republic forces in the assault, knowing that the planet's capture would help expedite the end of the war. Koon was entrusted with the command of the 442nd Siege Battalion, a unit known for its perseverance and toughness. Alongside him, Clone Captain Jag led a series of starfighter squadrons, tasked with taking down the Separatist air forces in the skies over Cato Neimoidia. These Republic forces would face off against a formidable trio of Separatist Providence-class Dreadnoughts and their supporting droid tri-fighter squadrons. The battle was fierce, with the skies filled with chaos as Republic starfighters, including Z-95 headhunters, engaged in high-speed dogfights with the Separatist droid fighters. The Separatist Dreadnoughts, with their heavy firepower, provided significant support to the droid forces, but Koon's leadership and the Republic's determination to secure Cato Neimoidia drove the attack forward. The Republic's starfighters, under the guidance of Koon and Captain Jag, managed to whittle down the Separatist forces, gaining the upper hand in the sky. Despite the considerable firepower of the Separatist Dreadnoughts, the Republic's coordinated offensive eventually overwhelmed the Separatist defenses, paving the way for the successful capture of Cato Neimoidia. The victory at Cato Neimoidia marked a key moment in the closing stages of the Clone Wars, bringing the Republic one step closer to victory while simultaneously weakening the Separatist hold on the Outer Rim territories. The battle demonstrated the effectiveness of Republic strategy, combining the strength of their ground forces with the precision of starfighter support to decisively defeat the Separatists in one of their final strongholds. As the Clone Wars neared their conclusion, the Confederacy, under the covert direction of Darth Sidious, who operated in his public persona as Supreme Chancellor Sheev Palpatine, launched a bold and unexpected assault on the heart of the Republic, the planet Coruscant. The operation was not only a military strike, but also a part of a larger, sinister plan to manipulate events and further entrench his control over both the Republic and the Jedi Order. The purpose of the attack was twofold. First, it aimed to capture Palpatine, a crucial move in Sidious's plan to consolidate his power. By removing the Republic's leader from the equation, Sidious sought to destabilize the Republic government and draw the final steps of his machinations into motion. Second, the assault was designed to draw Jedi Knight Anakin Skywalker deeper into the dark side of the Force. Sidious knew that Skywalker's deep attachment to Palpatine, coupled with the intense personal conflict the Jedi Knight faced, would make him a prime candidate for turning to the dark side. The Separatists, led by General Grievous aboard his flagship, launched a surprise attack with a fleet of powerful ships, including Providence-class Dreadnoughts, Munificent-class star frigates, and other formidable vessels. The Republic's defense forces, though strong, were caught off guard by the sheer scale of the assault. The conflict escalated quickly as the Separatist fleet bombarded Coruscant's defenses, initiating a battle for control of the planet. Grievous's forces managed to break through the Republic's defensive lines, and their ultimate goal was to capture Palpatine, who had been temporarily moved to a secret location for safety. With the Republic's military stretched thin and the Jedi stretched even further, the attack threatened to topple the Republic at its very core. This assault also served as the catalyst for Anakin's final fall to the dark side. When Grievous's forces abducted Palpatine, Anakin and Obi-Wan Kenobi were dispatched to rescue the Chancellor. The events that followed, the dramatic rescue aboard Grievous's flagship, and the chaotic battle that ensued, pushed Anakin to the brink of his personal and emotional limits. His growing disillusionment with the Jedi Order, coupled with his desire to save Palpatine, further fueled his eventual decision to betray the Jedi and embrace the Sith teachings of power and control. In the aftermath of the assault, the attack on Coruscant marked the beginning of the final stage of the war, one that would see the Republic fall and the rise of the Galactic Empire. Sidious, using his puppet Chancellor persona, would soon move to implement his long-term plan, consolidating his power and using Anakin Skywalker as a critical piece in his vision for galactic domination. In a bold and unexpected move, General Grievous and the Separatist fleet launched an all-out assault on the Republic's capital, Coruscant, with the aim of capturing Chancellor Palpatine. The Separatist fleet, led by the massive Providence-class Dreadnought Invisible Hand, was far larger and more powerful than anyone in the Republic had anticipated. Despite the prevailing belief that the Separatists would never dare strike at the heart of the Republic, Grievous proved them wrong. The Invisible Hand, a formidable flagship, carried a fleet of over 1,000 starships, including other Providence-class Dreadnoughts, Munificent-class star frigates, and various support vessels. The suddenness and scale of the attack caught the Coruscant Home Defense Fleet off guard, and despite their best efforts to defend the planet, they were quickly overwhelmed by the superior firepower and tactical maneuvering of Grievous's forces. The battle above Coruscant was intense, as Grievous's fleet engaged the Republic's defenses in space while the planet's surface was thrown into chaos. The Republic's fleets were severely outnumbered, and their defensive lines were shattered. As the Republic scrambled to respond, Grievous's forces advanced on the planet with ruthless precision. After a prolonged chase through the Federal District and around the capital, Grievous succeeded in capturing Chancellor Palpatine, taking him aboard the Invisible Hand. This event marked a turning point in the Clone Wars, signaling not only a major military defeat for the Republic, but also the beginning of a new chapter in Palpatine's rise to ultimate power. His capture would set the stage for the final stages of the war and the subsequent rise of the Galactic Empire. This moment also set into motion the personal tragedy of Anakin Skywalker. With his mentor and friend Palpatine now in the hands of the Separatists, Anakin's emotional turmoil intensified, making him more vulnerable to the manipulations of the Sith Lord. What began as a military maneuver soon spiraled into a far greater personal and political crisis, leading directly to the eventual downfall of the Republic and the Jedi Order. Despite being outmatched, the Republic's home fleet made a desperate attempt to prevent General Grievous's flagship, Invisible Hand, from escaping with Chancellor Palpatine. The assault on Coruscant was a major blow to the Republic, but the situation was far from lost. In a bold move, the Republic's Open Circle fleet, commanded by Jedi Generals Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker, arrived just in time to join the fray. Their presence turned the tide as they engaged the Separatist escorts, Munificent-class star frigates, Recusant-class light destroyers, and Lucrehulk-class battleships that were protecting the Invisible Hand. Kenobi and Skywalker led a daring charge through the chaotic battlefield, navigating through swarms of Separatist vessels and relentless turbolaser fire. Their mission was clear: reach the Invisible Hand and prevent Grievous from escaping with the Chancellor. Their swift actions allowed them to break through the Separatist lines and approach the flagship. Upon reaching the Invisible Hand, Skywalker took control of the situation by deactivating the flagship's deflector shields. This strategic move created a window of opportunity for the two Jedi to land safely inside the ship's main hangar, where they would face further challenges. This maneuver allowed the Republic forces to gain a foothold in the battle for Coruscant, though the struggle was far from over. Once inside the Invisible Hand, the two Jedi prepared for the next phase of their mission: to confront General Grievous, who was determined to make his escape, and to rescue the Chancellor from his clutches. With the fate of the Republic hanging in the balance, this high-stakes mission would lead to a climactic battle that would set the stage for Anakin Skywalker's eventual fall to the dark side and the rise of the Galactic Empire. After successfully freeing Chancellor Palpatine from captivity and defeating Count Dooku aboard the Invisible Hand, Jedi Generals Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker faced yet another dangerous challenge. As the battle raged on, the Invisible Hand engaged in a brief but intense broadside exchange with the Republic's Venator-class Star Destroyer, Gualara. The Dreadnought sustained significant damage during the clash, and despite valiant efforts by its crew to regain control, the ship began plummeting toward Coruscant's surface. Although the Invisible Hand was severely crippled, the Separatists' defeat was not absolute. General Grievous, knowing his flagship was doomed, managed to escape in an escape pod. The pod was retrieved by the Profusion, a Separatist Lucrehulk-class battleship, as Grievous made his getaway, leaving the Republic with a victory but still without capturing the elusive general. Despite the damage, Skywalker and Kenobi, still aboard the stricken Invisible Hand, worked together to land the massive Dreadnought on Coruscant's surface. During the landing, a significant portion of the ship broke off, but the Jedi managed to avoid total destruction and safely bring the vessel to the planet. Though the Republic had managed to rescue the Chancellor and deal a blow to the Separatist leadership, the cost of the battle was steep. The Invisible Hand was critically damaged, and Grievous escaped once again, leaving the Republic's forces with a bittersweet victory as the Clone Wars neared their devastating conclusion. After the conclusion of the Clone Wars and the transformation of the Galactic Republic into the Galactic Empire, in 19 BBY, the once formidable Providence-class Dreadnoughts, which had been a cornerstone of the Separatist Navy, were decommissioned. The remnants of these once proud warships were sent to the junkyard planet of Bracca, a world known for its ship-breaking operations. There, the once powerful Dreadnoughts, having served their purpose in the war, began to deteriorate. With the rise of the Empire, the need for these ships faded, and they were left to rust and be disassembled. Over time, the massive vessels became little more than decaying hulks, their advanced technologies and weaponry stripped away. The sight of the old Separatist Dreadnoughts, now abandoned and decaying in the scrap yards of Bracca, stood as a silent testament to the end of an era, as the Empire moved forward with new fleets and technologies, leaving the past behind. In 14 BBY, during the reign of the Empire, a rebel cell led by Birchteller made use of a modified and downsized version of a former Separatist Providence-class Dreadnought. This particular Dreadnought had a notorious reputation for jamming signals and destroying holonet relays during the Clone Wars. The vessel was an amalgamation of several Dreadnoughts that had once served the Separatists, most notably including parts from the Lucid Voice, which contributed to its sensor array tower, and the Invincible, the former flagship of Admiral Trench during the Battle of Christophsis. After the Battle of Christophsis, the Invincible had been recovered and its components were later sold, some of which were repurposed into the Rebel warship. The modified Dreadnought played a key role in the Rebel cell's operations, including an attack on the Imperial Sentinel base, which took place during the visit of Moff Wilhuff Tarkin. However, the Dreadnought's involvement in the rebellion was short-lived. Later, during a battle near the Gulf of Tatooine, the ship met its end when Imperial forces, led by Tarkin, destroyed it. Despite its destruction, the ship's legacy lived on as a symbol of the Rebel forces' resourcefulness in using salvaged technology to challenge the Empire. Another modified Providence-class Dreadnought, with an expanded stern and additional engines for enhanced speed and maneuverability, would go on to serve in the naval forces of the Alliance to restore the Republic. This warship was part of the Rebellion's efforts to counter the Empire's dominance in space. The modified Dreadnought participated in key battles alongside the newer Mon Calamari warships, which were custom-designed for the Rebellion. One notable engagement saw the Providence-class Dreadnought face off against the Star Destroyers of the Imperial Navy, a testament to the growing strength and coordination of the Rebel fleet. This battle, like many others fought by the Alliance, would highlight their ability to adapt and utilize salvaged or modified technology in their fight against the Empire. Despite the difference in size and power between the Star Destroyers and the Providence class, the battle showcased the tactical ingenuity and resilience of the Rebel forces as they took on the superior Imperial warships.